Here I am today. Thought I'll share my weight loss, weight gain journey with you. Uh, See where I started, what I went through, where I'm at, and what I'm trying to do. So there was a time, again, I'm pretty sure there's a time in everyone's life when you are in your teens, preteens, going through puberty. I was there once. I was a 110-pound skinny guy. It was impossible for me to put on weight. I remember my college days, I would survive on ramen or a pizza. It's not like I didn't want to cook or didn't know how to cook. I could cook. It's just that I didn't have the time or the patience or what have you. It was impossible for me to put on weight. I would envy people who were fit, would wonder what they did, what they ate. And at the same time, fast forward 20 years, I'm in my 40s, and now I feel like it's impossible for me to lose weight. Anything I eat seems like it just goes straight to my midsection. And no matter what I do, at least until the past 20 years, no matter what I did, things wouldn't work until I discovered keto. But before I talk about that, let me talk about a different phase of my life. Once I got my first job, had some residual income. I didn't want to be the youngest looking person at my work or the skinniest person. So I hired a trainer, started working out 3 times a week, and then bulking up on those protein shakes, milks. And then things seems working. There was the first time ever I'd worked out in my life. I was in my early 20s, and then my body soaked up all the protein, just like parched land soaks up any amount of water. I was putting on weight, seeing results. I think within 9 months, I went from 110 pounds all the way to 180, 119 pounds, mostly pure muscle, some fat, some water, but I felt good. For the first time in my life, I felt physically good. I could wear what I wanted to wear. I could eat what I wanted to eat. It gave me some level of confidence. I was not the skinny guy anymore. I was bulky. It was great. And things were good until I would say my 30s. For a whole decade, I went through a bulking up, cutting down phase, and cutting down was so easy for me. My metabolism was revved up. I would cut down on my bulk protein. I would take those cut down maintenance kind of protein, and then I would become lean and mean. And I have some photographs to prove to you. But again, once I turned 30, something happened in my body. It's like a switch flipped. Slowly, steadily, not overnight, over years, I started putting on some weight. Nothing much changed in my life. Same lifestyle, same diet, same level of exercise, and I would say same level of work or other stress. I think about when I was 36, my doctor for the first time said that, hey, your cholesterol numbers are marginally high. Why don't you look after your diet and exercise and see if you can get the numbers under control? Year after year, numbers kept getting same or slightly worse until COVID happened. 3 straight years of staying at home, remote jobs, refrigerator right next there, intermittent snacking instead of intermittent fasting. That's when my first child was born. She is a COVID baby. And then suddenly I started having these persistent, always in the back of your mind, headaches. I went to the doctor. I was diagnosed with hypertension, high cholesterol, and I was put on medication. Medication got the symptoms under control. It was a wake-up call. I had a brand new baby, I had to take care of, send her, put her through college. So I started working out again, hired a trainer again, started working out. I wasn't much on cardio. I started doing cardio as well. But then things didn't move much. I was working out. I was building muscle. My muscle percentage was going up. Fat didn't budge much, at least based on the numbers I charted. It was okay. Numbers were constant. I didn't mind it much. And then eventually I gave up on the trainer because work stress, travel, this and that. So that was that until an year earlier when wife and I realized we were going to have our second child. We were super happy. But at the same time, I was super scared. I was like, hey, I'm in my 40s. I'm having a second child. And the way things are going, I am looking at a coronary event in my mid-50s, and I couldn't have that because I had to put both my kids to college. I need to live for that. So I started looking at other things, diets, paleo, Atkins. Unfortunately or fortunately, I was raised a vegetarian, a lacto-vegetarian, and I stumbled upon keto. And something about it made sense. I was like, hey, keto is all about high fat. I do dairy. So I started keto, did it for 3 months straight. Things were slightly problematic in the beginning. I would be hungry because I don't eat meat, and meat is the one thing that satiates you. I couldn't eat too many salads. It was not for my palate. So there was a few hungry days, a week or two passed by, and suddenly, again, some kind of switch flipped in my body. Like hunger was gone. I could just wake up in the morning and not have to eat anything for the first 4 or 5 hours, and I wouldn't even feel hungry. And that's when I started measuring myself. I bought this thing called Keto Mojo first thing in the morning, maybe later in the day, and again in the evening or before going to bed. I would measure myself, and I saw slowly that my ketones were rising and my glucose was steady. And that was the time I also invested in a CGM, and I was measuring it. And the first time in my life, I could say my glucose was constant. It wasn't going through roller coaster fluctuations. So keto works. That's my conclusion. So what about keto? So yeah, another great thing, a pleasant side effect of keto was that I suddenly got this mental clarity. Usually on a lacto-vegetarian, carb-heavy diet where I'm eating a lot of rice and lentils and a lot of cooked vegetables, not like raw salad vegetables. What I see is when I wake up in the morning, my mind is peak cognition within 1 to 2 hours of waking up. And then usually as the day progresses, my cognition goes down. And typically by the end of the day, I go through some kind of, I'll not call it depression, but some kind of evening blues. And then it doesn't go off. The anxiety doesn't go off until I sleep overnight, wake up in the morning, and things are fine. But first time with keto, what I noticed is there was no anxiety. There were no evening blues. I had constant energy, and more importantly, I had constant mental clarity, constant cognitive ability. And this was the best side effect of keto that I found. And then I haven't done a straight keto for like a whole year. Something other happens. I do it for 3 months and I have to take a break, and then something happens. What I've noticed is with keto, during the first month, even the first weeks, I can bend down, tie my laces without sitting down for the first time in 20 years. I could do other things. I could just spring up, stand up, I had more energy to play with my kids. So after the childbirth, a few things happened. I got off the bandwagon, and I'm trying keto again. And just journaling everything right here for you to just check me, make sure, keep me truthful, keep me honest. So conclusion of this particular video log is keto is one thing that worked for me. I am seeing results. And then the more I do it, the more it's easier for me to get back into. For me, keto, I can give you an analogy like my body or everybody's body is a supercar, right? You have this high performance machines like your brain, your heart, your liver. They do so many things constantly. They're running, right? They're high performance machines, and your body's like a high performance supercar. And glucose, right now I feel like it's crude oil or diesel, right? It doesn't give you the power to whatever ratio. So if the body is a supercar, glucose is like crude oil or diesel. It produces a lot of pollutants, doesn't let my engine run at peak performance. On the other hand, ketones are like high octane fuel, which my heart, my brain, my muscles, they all crave, right? It keeps me at a constant energy, less hunger, less cravings, more mental clarity. So this is something that works for me. Like after 20 years, I feel like, hey, I can reverse some of my ailments, my prediabetes, my hypertension, my cholesterol, maybe. I don't know. I still have to go for my 6-month mark after I start this. But I'm going to continue on this journey, keep reporting you every week, let you know what kind of things I eat. And I'm not a medical practitioner or a dietitian or even a doctor or any certified professional. I'm just a person trying a few things, and keto worked for me. There are extreme kinds of ketos where I've seen online videos where people to go into nutritional ketosis to get like the 3.0 number, they consume a lot of fats. I don't do that. I let my body consume my own body fat and just feed it enough fat in terms of MCT oil or butter or dairy so that I'm not hungry. And then my numbers usually are around the 1.0, and then that keeps me sustained, and that's my number. It may not work for you. Everybody is different, but I ask you to experiment, try a few things. What works for one person may not work for you. So try a few things, report back, leave a comment or something, and I'll next week let you know. Maybe I'll show you my numbers, how it was, how it is. Thank you.